The follow-up is simple. Ask a question, listen to the answer, then follow up. I'm your host, Noah Kozlov. Enjoy.
Hi, and welcome back to another episode of the Follow-Up Podcast. I'm Eden, and this is my dad, Noah, and every week we have a different conversation about something I want to talk about, and this week's topic is what it's like growing up in New York City.
So I get asked all the time from my friends who don't live in New York City, friends that I grew up with in outside Philadelphia, and they say, so what's it like for Eden being in New York City? And I explained it and how different it is, but I thought it might be nice to be able to have this conversation and then send this to them so that they can actually hear it from you. So you don't know any different. You've lived in New York City your whole life, but you've visited other places. You've been to the suburbs. You've been to where Mom and I grew up. So
a bunch of times.
What do you like about living here?
Well, I like that there's a bunch of things to do. You can walk a bunch of places, and it's just open. It's not like you can run around. There's just stuff. There's buildings everywhere, and it's not. And it's just there's a lot of things to do.
Right. So it's the largest city in the United States, and it's one of the most desirable places to come on vacation too, because there is so much to do. For example, last night we just hopped on the subway, and the subway ride took 30 minutes. And so maybe for someone who doesn't live here, they think, wait, 30 minutes on the train, that's a long time. It never feels that way.
It really isn't.
And then we went to a terrific pizza place in Brooklyn, had decent ice cream, and then
I think it's delicious.
And then walked along the water in Brooklyn, where you see the Brooklyn Bridge, you see the Freedom Tower, you see the Statue of Liberty.
That was really pretty.
Mm-hmm. Right. Those types of experiences are very easy to have.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And they're great experiences.
Mm-hmm. I also like the education you get in your classroom, and then also just walking down the street that isn't a classic education
right.
math, writing, reading. Because of the diversity in your classroom.
Right.
Yeah, that I appreciate a lot. Do you? What about it?
There's a bunch of different people in my classroom.
Explain.
Come from different places.
Mm-hmm. Like where?
Stuff, I think. Someone in our class comes from Pakistan.
Mm-hmm. China, Pakistan.
Mexico.
Uh-huh. Right, so if you were to think in your class, so now there are about 20 kids in your class, as a white American kid, boy or girl, there are less of you in the class than everybody else, right? Mm-hmm. There are more kids that don't look like you than kids that do look like you, right?
Right.
Yeah, that's a type of experience that is very difficult to get anywhere else. That's a New York City public school. New York City is a melting pot where so many people from all over the world come to live.
When you were in school, when you were a kid,
mm-hmm.
Was it like that when you were in your classroom?
Mm-hmm.
What was it like?
There were very few black kids in school. I'm talking about in elementary school.
Yeah.
When we got to junior high and high school, it was very diverse. Yeah. But in elementary school, at your age, I think I remember in 4th grade, I remember a kid named Pete, and he came from Poland. But and Cook was from China. And there was one black girl, I believe. Yeah, so it wasn't a diverse elementary school.
That
but
just
as we got older, it was
really just weird because my whole school, there's all different people.
Yeah. But then being in junior high and high school, you were exposed to all of that, and also then, we used to come to New York as a family a bunch to see Uncle Saul, and then you'd experience all sorts of things. You'd see different things, or we'd go downtown in Philadelphia, but it was different than living it every day.
Right.
And also, I say on the streets of New York, when you're walking, it takes a lot to do a double take, meaning when you're walking by someone and someone who doesn't live in New York might go, did you what? Did you see that? Where in New York, you're just so used to seeing things like that, you just, I don't know, you don't even notice it. You just keep walking, and like that's what it is.
And it's like you have no idea. You just don't notice it.
Yeah.
Because you already noticed it, and you just walk by.
Do your, well, I wouldn't imagine, but actually, in school, you had a what was it called? Was it like a spirit day?
Yeah, Spirit Day.
Where kids dressed up from different cultures and things like that.
Right.
So what did kids dress up like, and do you remember anything that you learned about that?
Well, we weren't learning about anything, so we didn't learn anything.
But you got to see different things. Like
yeah, what? But I told you about like the different people they were wearing. Like one person was from Pakistan. They were wearing something they would like pajamas. They would wear in like Pakistan.
Yeah. That's neat. Do you ever feel?
So they were very comfy.
Oh, that's neat. Another question my friends asked, did they think, does Eden feel safe all the time?
Yeah.
Or are there things that make her nervous being on the subway or on the bus from people who haven't experienced it? Do you ever feel that way?
No.
No?
Not really.
Because when I was your age, I used to be very skittish, like very nervous seeing someone who was homeless. I used to, like, when I was your age, I used to, like really like grab on tight to grandma and grandpa's hand, or like try to walk another way. I was very nervous of it when I was a kid. Do you ever feel that way?
Not really.
No?
No.
That's okay. All right. But again, you can always ask questions and yeah. All right, what else? Well, right now you're dressed in your bathing suit. We're going to go to the pool. And I'm still in my pajamas.
Like, one thing we do over the summer relating with... Like, what I do over the summer relating with what we had the topic last summer. We go to the pool.
Right, we just go to the pool. And that's something different in New York. There are some buildings that have a pool. We have one on a roof. So we just take the elevator up. And then go to the pool. Spend our day there. Right, it's right, and that's different.
It is.
Right, and it's also the not having we don't have a car. So I enjoy being able to just like walk to the supermarket.
Walk to the bridge.
Or walk to Target. Right, so you're used to so I'd like you to talk about that. That in the suburbs,
like you take a car a lot of places. You can't walk everywhere. Like last time when we were in the suburbs, we took the car to the supermarket, but we didn't. We walked to Target because it was right next door. Mm-hmm. But like we took the car to the supermarket because it was like far enough that we had to take the car. Mm-hmm. Also.
Right, it's a few miles away.
It's a few miles.
And here
it's like 11 blocks. Actually, I think it is 11 blocks.
Right, so there you can walk a mile or two without a problem. You're just walking up the street, walking down the street, walking to your destination. Yeah. It's a whole lot easier to do it that way.
Same way back and forth. Only if you don't take a right turn.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. What else?
It's just so different. Like people on the street, like you can walk everywhere, mm-hmm. so you get to see more things.
Mm-hmm. You get to see more people. Get to see. You ever find yourself just looking up? I do sometimes, just looking up and looking at these massive, beautiful buildings and wondering what goes on in some of these buildings.
I always see myself looking down at the ground.
Why?
I don't know. I always look at the ground.
You afraid you're gonna like step in dog poop or something?
No, I just always look at the ground.
Really? All right. Well, then here's a recommendation: look up and look around. Well, always look. Make sure you know where you're going. Look straight ahead. But
That's why I look at the ground. I want so I can see like where I'm going. I just always look at the ground for some reason.
yeah, well, you gotta look up. Yeah, look up and realize where you are. I always get a big kick of anytime I used to walk through Times Square and seeing kids and parents who it seems like maybe they were there for the first time, or maybe the kids were there for the first time, and the parents, and they were pointing out all these buildings, and their eyes were just. And I would ask, do you want to take a picture, and take their picture for them, because that's something that we might take for granted. All these beautiful buildings and Times Square and Broadway and all those big lights, but so many other people just see it on TV and think, "Wow, what a place!" And so I think oftentimes it's important to slow down a little bit, even though New Yorkers are known for like walking really fast. But I think it's important to slow down a little bit and appreciate where you are.
Like look.
Yeah, so you're gonna look up a little bit more?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
We're gonna put on some sun television?
Yes.
Alright, I love you.
I love